There's a lot of brilliant people that don't have any information.
Yeah.
Which is why like there's people like I firmly believe that to be great at athletics, it takes a kind of intelligence. And you're not measuring it in an IQ, but to pretend that someone is like a Wayne Gretzky, that he's not some kind of a genius, or a Federer or an elite MMA fighter.
Yeah.
You have to be a kind of a genius.
Yeah.
Because you're navigating this most difficult of world where microsecond decisions get made, training, instinct, discipline, the will to carve out this existence, and all those things. You have to have a fucking truly, truly exceptional mind to be able to do those things.
I agree 100%. From anybody that's doing things at just like a really high level, or like they're doing things differently, or they're like the number 1, 2, and 3 in anything. In anything, there's definitely a level.
If you're focusing at physics, well, everybody thinks you're a genius. But if you're focusing on hockey, people don't think you're a genius. Or if you're focusing on chess, maybe people think you're a genius. But if you're focusing on jiu-jitsu, maybe they don't think you're a genius.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I think they're all geniuses.
Yeah, for sure.
I think every one of those people, if they had the physical capability, because obviously some people unfortunately have terrible genetics and they're just never going to be an elite athlete. But if you have the physical ability, that's only like a little tiny piece of it.
Yeah.
The real piece is the mental part of navigating, not just the training, but the improving and then the ability to execute under pressure.
Under pressure, you gotta have the mental side to even drive the physical side, right? You can be a physical specimen. How I'm built, right? Like, but I know nothing about football, so it's not like I can just. I'd have to develop some type of brilliance or some type of.
You'd have to train.
I'd have to train. I'd have to think. I'd have to do all these things.
Like you look like you could play football.
That's what I'm saying. I look like I can play football, but my mind's not wired that way, right? So I'd have to do a lot to make that happen.
And then obviously there's a lot of football players that look like a beast, but if you get them in a cage, they have no idea what to do.
Nothing, dude. They wouldn't be able to throw a punch.
We've seen it.
It's so crazy.
We've seen it. We've seen guys that they're badasses, but there's a difference between being a badass versus a trained fighter.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different world.
Yeah.
And it requires not just physical work. It requires a kind of brilliance.